Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you at in the world. My name is, yes, Barbara J. Beckley, and I'm here with you as a guest host on Talk Fabulous show with Tamara L. Hunter. Now, you're probably saying, okay, you're not Tamara L. Hunter. You don't look nothing like her. You have her background. You know, well, I look at her as a sister from another mother. She's my sister. She's the queen, I call her. She's, just everything that I look at when she helps others. Her heart is a heart of gold. And I have to say that because she has gave me permission to do a takeover, of her wonderful show that comes on every Sunday at this time. And it's about basically getting and exploring with other experts with different subjects and really just getting a little deep into it, hearing deep people's different expressions of it, hint expression, because that's what today we're going to be talking about. Since the 4th of July is around the corner for the U.S., we decided we wanted to talk about expressions of freedom. Expressions of freedom. So we're welcome everybody, all the audience out there, people that are watching us right now. It's either in Facebook land or Instagram land or E360 TV land, wherever you are watching us. We asked you if you could put comments in and start having the conversation with us. This is not just two-way conversation with me and the panelist that's going to be on, but this is a conversation with all of us. And we're talking about expressions of freedom. And I want to put out there too that we're proud of being able, especially in the United States, to have that. But you know what? We always have to be concerned too and just be thoughtful of some people that might not have that. So we might be dipping a little bit into that too. Nothing negative about it. It's just what's real, right? It's just what's going on in the world. So we want to make sure that we cover all aspects, but we do it in love, we do it positive, and we do it because we're learning and growing from each other. So with that, we are going to get this party started. I'm just so glad about these panelists. And we're going to go right into just starting the show. Ta-da-da! And see, just like magic, I have my wonderful, wonderful panelists. And since they're all women, I always call the women, if you know me by now, if you know Barbara J. Beckley by now, you know I call the women queens, okay? That's it. There's no explanation to it. They're royalty, and we're going to move it on with that, right? So I want to welcome each and every lady first. But before that, I do have a little sidekick of another guest host, and I want to bring her on first. She is a wonderful Renee, and I want to make sure that she says her little take on expression of freedom. And then we're going to go right into getting to know our panelists just a little bit better.
Hello, everyone. My name is Renee Reich, founder of Finding Your Voice Network, Finding Your Voice Network magazine, and #1 best-selling author for Finding Your Voice, Unlock Your Chains, and Unleash Your Greatness. Welcome to today's fabulous show. It's all about freedom of expression. We'll be joined by guest host once again, Barbara Beckley. She will be speaking with some wonderful panelists about the voice of expression. What does it mean? This freedom that we get to express our voices every single day. So as I always say, you're going to want to take some notes. This show is always filled with some wonderful knowledge and experience that people have had that they are sharing with you. So sit back, relax, get your pens and papers handy, and enjoy today's fabulous show. Barbara, take it away.
Mwah. I always love Renee. She is just a sweetheart. And as she said, I need to take it away. But see, this is not just me taking it away. This is each and every lady on this panel. So before we get started by talking about freedom of expression today, that's our topic for today. Like I said, please show your love in the comments, add things. just talk to us because we're going to be putting them up there. So you'll be seen through the comments. But before that, I want to introduce each lady here. We're going to let them introduce themselves and then we're going to get right into it. So let's start with Mrs. Kimberly.
Hi, thanks so much, Barbara, for your panel, and thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you to Tamara for the platform. Really appreciate you. My name is Kimberly Lechnick. I am a relationship coach, executive producer, and show host for Faith Rising, Feel the Fire, where I am highlighting social entrepreneurs, those that have 501c3s, social projects, foundations, nonprofits, all in an effort to heal humanity. And it is an honor and a pleasure to be here with you today.
All right, I guess I'm next. Hey guys, my name is Erika Nicole, aka Erika Speaks Life, all over social media. I am a healing midwife. I hold space for women to help them heal and deal so they can regain their identity, regain confidence after going through any type of transformation or tragedy. I am a podcast host of Speak Life with Erika Nicole, an author. Most importantly, I am a speaker, and I love to inspire and motivate from behind the mic to just know that you can heal and deal and truly become your authentic self.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Barbara, for having me on this panel with these awesome ladies. And thank you, Tamara, for this platform. My name is Gunjani Patel Oza, and I am a transformation and holistic anxiety coach. And I lean on 15 years of my experience as a mental health therapist, and I help high achieving women leaders with high functioning anxiety embrace change and uncertainty with ease, grace, and confidence. I go deeper than mindset. I'm also a certified trauma informed breathwork practitioner. So I lean on science and spirituality to really help you go deep in your body and tap into its wisdom so you can move through changes and all the things and live life and design a life that you love showing up to. And I am so happy to be here today. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Miss Barbara, for having me on this platform, and Tamara. I appreciate both of you. I am life and transformational healing coach and speaker, Michelle Jackson, and I help women who've dealt with trauma to heal by using their voice to come out of their shells. I help them to be more confident and realize the power within them is the power that creates and opens a pathway to create the power outside of them. I'm so very grateful to be here, and I wish you all a early happy 4th of July. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. See, I told you I have a wonderful panel here, and I'm loving the comments coming in. They're showing you all love, Queens, you being on the panel, on the show, and just want to show you the love too. My name is Barbara J. Beckley, and I'm here as a guest host. I don't want to keep up too much time. Basically, what I do, I'm a purpose, visibility, and social media strategist. Because last time I hosted, they were like, okay, everybody said what they are, but who are you, Barbara? I said, so I thought you all got to know that already. But but just giving the love, making sure people know who I am as well. I want to also just welcome in the comments the Queen Tamara L. Hunter. She's watching us with the show. Thank you, Tamara, again for letting us share your platform. And we're just going to get right into it, ladies. So, expression of freedom. Expression of freedom. You know, when I first thought about this topic, because me and Tamara talks about the topics on a weekly basis, and we were talking about, well, the fourth is coming around, so that would be a good topic, something to really dig into. And first, I want to be honest. Like I said, I'm open here and always honest. I was just a little bit nervous about it, just a little bit, because first of all, I'm so proud of where we live in the U.S. I'm so proud that we're able to have expression of freedom, and I'm proud that us as all women, even all women of different nationalities, is have our own way of doing that expression of freedom. But things happened in the past, and things happened just a few days ago, which some of that has been kind of tested. Let's just say that way. And I was like, oh no. But I was like, you know what, this is educational. I said, we can learn from this. And this is where we have to be more gratitude that we still have it, that we still are able to celebrate that. So I want to hear, what does freedom mean to you? So we'll start off. Let's go. I will start with Coach Michelle this time.
Oh boy. Okay. Thank you so much. So, for me, and I hope I don't take this down a dark path, but for me, freedom of expression means that I'm not bound by silence, in shame, or in being inadequate or less than. As an overcomer of childhood sexual abuse, rape, incest, molestation, those acts and rejection, they stole my voice. So I know we're talking about freedom of expression from a perspective of America and independence, but we can have an I guess, a bound way of looking or dealing with the lack of expression in our own personal lives based on our own personal experiences. So for me, freedom of expression means that I am able to heal. I'm able to show up the way that I need to show up in my authentic self, being organically me. That also means that I express myself coming from my experiences and the things that I've encountered in my life without any boundaries, of course, using grace with my words and not an intention of hurting others, but that I show up organically, authentically me with the power that's already within me.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And you know what? I'm glad, Coach Michelle, that you mentioned about this is that's not freedom of society. I mean, we're talking about Independence Day because it's around that. But I'm glad that you're touching me because I want you all to have expression of freedom wherever you're at in your life. Coach Michelle says she's freedom with herself. She can say her voice now of the things that went through, the things that she went through. She now can open up and be free from herself. That's more important to me than anything, to make sure that you're free of yourself. I mean, I was a shy person when I was younger, and people look at me like, Barbara, stop lying. I'm like, no, I'm serious. I was very shy, closed up because people told me that I wouldn't be anything. They called me an alien when I was 6 years old. Ah. So I was like, okay, either ET take me back home, or let me see where I'm in now and make me open up. So we're gonna hear from Kimberly.
Hi, when you had invited me to this panel, I was so excited. And I was excited from the standpoint that I was coming from the perspective that I am so grateful. Here in the Chicagoland area in the last couple of weeks, we have been taxed with our air quality, something that we take for granted on a daily basis, that we can go outside, that we can breathe in clean air. For me, I take that as an invitation to really sit in gratitude. That clean air doesn't come without freedom. You know, we we really it's an honor, it's a privilege, it's something to be taken very seriously. And again, I'm coming at it from the global perspective. The fact that we are here on a panel today and that we are able to exercise our freedom of speech is something to be grateful for. It is not something to be taken very lightly. I had an opportunity very recently to meet one of our congressmen, Bill Foster, as I began to navigate how it is going to be and what it will look like to advocate for our families and our country. I am grateful for that. I am grateful in so many ways, shape, or form. So, not to go on and on, but to kind of look at this is, what does freedom mean to me? Freedom means what we are doing today. Freedom isn't just fireworks. Freedom isn't just celebration with family. Freedom is not just the fact that we can go out and as an entrepreneur or a business person and make money. It is so much deeper than that. So as we move into the 4th of July, take a moment if you can. Sit in gratitude for what we have. And we have so much. Thank you so much, Barbara.
Powerful, 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 Kimberly. I'm loving it. And I'm glad you mentioned about the air quality. I feel kind of bad because it took somebody from another state to call me and say, Barbara, you're one of the worst areas with the air quality this week. I'm like, what? So I'm in my house just doing my shows, talking to the other queens, doing my thing. And then all of a sudden around me, the air is like, and I was like, okay, let me keep the air conditioner on. Let me keep myself moving here. So then I thought about it, like you said, Kimberly, I'm so grateful, even through all that, through what we're dealing with that, is that, there's still, I can still stand in my house and be able to do what I need to do. And then don't second guess, okay, even air. And we kind of all learned that from the coronavirus too. I mean, we learned how to have gratitude on top of gratitude on top of gratitude. So just having the freedom to just, breathe in and breathe out, right? So that's it's bad in Canada too, because that's where the fires are. So great, 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 great. So let's hear from Erika.
Oh, wow. Thank you for this opportunity. It's the topic of freedom is so layered for me because you can look at it from a spiritual perspective. And the fact that because I have my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, which I know other people have their own religions, I'm free from guilt, shame, and sin. I'm free from things that I've done in my past. But then you can look at as it from a woman perspective. Women, we are free now. It back in the day, way, way back, I don't know the exact year, where women weren't really seen as much outside of having a husband. If your father died, you could not, as a single woman, even be gifted, right, or inherited something. It would go to your husband. Women were one of the last to be able to vote, right? It's so much to that. And then as a black person, as African American descent, looking at the 4th of July, many of you know we celebrate Juneteenth now. Oh Lord, because we were not considered free when July 4th, when Independence Day came, that we weren't considered free. We did not come free until Juneteenth. And I can't remember the exact year. I did look it up. So it's so many layers of freedom to that for me. 1962 to be exact. So when others were free, we weren't free. So now I see this as a African American woman, going back to what Coach Kim said, to have the luxury and the ability now to be an author, to be a speaker, to be an ordained minister, to be on this podcast, this platform with you guys and speaking my voice, my authentic, true voice, unashamed, unafraid. Freedom is everything because you don't have to wait for someone else to give you a chance now. You can put your own self on. You can start your own podcast. You can self-publish your own book. You can start your own TV channel now. That is freedom. And that, my dear, is amazing to me.
Okay, you know what? I have to do something here. I just have to do something here. Powerful, powerful. Yes, yes. Well, before we get to our queen, Gunjani, there is another person in our wonderful, I call it family, under the Let's Talk Fabulous, that's going to talk about what's the meaning of freedom to her. We'll be right back.
Freedom is self-expression. Freedom is being. And freedom is light.
Hi, my name is Jack, and freedom means to me that we have the freedom of speech, so we can create whatever we want, watch whatever we want, and go whatever school we want.
Hi, my name is Brooke, and Freedom means to me that people have the right to make their own decisions regarding how they want to live their life, how they raise their children, how they vote, and how they choose to spend their free time.
What does freedom mean to me? Well, gosh, to me, freedom means the ability to live the life that you truly love and want to create. That is the ultimate in freedom.
What does freedom mean to me? To me, freedom means to be able to learn from my mistakes. And if I didn't have that freedom, I would be stuck in old patterns.
What does freedom mean to me? It's about speaking your truth without fear of any repercussions. It's about independence and just being you. Be grateful, be confident, and be blessed. Happy Independence Day, everybody.
I'm sitting here, almost got a tissue in my hand. God, that is for Kim, Jack. He's our youngest in the family. Brooke, Renee, Joy, and our wonderful senior producer on this show, Miss Caroline, express what freedom means to them, and so heartwarming. And see, again, you see how in every area is not just we're talking about the fourth, and we're celebrating freedom, in our excuse me, United States, but freedom in all areas in our lives. I always think about that. I'm so glad that I have freedom to going again what Coach Michelle said, because me and her, when it talks about having your voice, there's a lot of similarities that she went through in her past that I went through as well. And when she talks about that, it just really resonates with me, because I never thought I would even be talking like this. I would never thought I'd be on a screen talking to people and calling them queens and just showing up. It was put that somebody told me that I wouldn't be able to do that. When people put in your ear and they do it so long, or certain things happen in your life, you're like, well, maybe I was destined not to say nothing. Mm-hmm. But it took that something in your life, something changes you. And I think every other person on this panel can say that there was something that changed them, transformed them into something else to be able to do what they do today. So the freedom of just being you is, to me, very important. Now, let's go to our wonderful Queen Gunjani. I want to hear her take on it.
Thank you so much, Barbara, for this question. Where I stand now, I feel like I truly believe in living life as 1% better version of myself every day, because I grew up as a people pleaser in recovery. And in an effort to please everybody else, there was a whole decade or a couple decades of my life where I lived life for others, where I lived life based on what was expected of me, or not saying and speaking my voice. I also grew up with sexual trauma, and I treated sexual trauma most of my life. So I wasn't always like this, but the more I healed, the more I went within, the more I worked on myself, it gave me an opportunity to show up as just completely myself. And that's what I feel so excited and passionate about teaching women, because I feel that, and especially growing up in America now. So I grew up in India half part of my life, and then grew up here, and life works so differently. Women, I truly feel so blessed and grateful that I can speak my truth, be who I am, when I want to be, how I want to be, show up, and really just be so confident and feel good within, and feel good about being myself and how I want to show up in this world. And truly, I think that's a blessing that not everybody gets to have. And so I don't want to take that lightly, but really it took a lot of work within to not keep myself in that emotional cage, and literally feels so good to just be liberated, to not worry about what people think, to not worry about what people say, to not worry about what everybody else wants of me, but to be who I am and celebrate it and be surrounded by other powerful women that celebrate themselves and celebrate me and support me. And when I was sharing to be here this morning, I was like, I used to be petrified as a kid. Like I couldn't even. My first class was public speaking. I couldn't even speak in front of 4 people, and now I'm like in front of millions of people right now, and it feels so good. But that didn't come till I healed those shameful, those not good enough, those unworthy parts of me that really needed to be held and supported with so much love and kindness and compassion and grace. So yeah, freedom, I don't think I take that lightly. I truly believe that I can be more freer every day, and it just an awesome. It feels so light to be in this place.
And I'm so glad that everybody is understanding their truth in them. See, this is like a love fest today too. It really is. I mean, I just wish I was here in person with each and every one of you just to give you those hugs, because I know this is sometimes it didn't take an overnight process. It takes time to really express your own freedom within your own self. And I know we were touching on society, but that is so important because it has to start with you, right? It has to start with you. I think each and every individual that's listening out right now, it has to start with you and feeling that you have freedom with yourself before you can start doing freedom everywhere else, before you start doing the work. And I think that's the biggest thing that we have to have gratitude for and remember that. So now I want to make sure I get into some more. There's some more people that's going to express some more freedom of what they think freedom is about for themselves, and we'll be right back. That was a nice clip and commercial for 4th of July. I know I was looking at the horses running. I was like, ooh, that looks nice. Y'all to just see them all free and everything. I don't know. I just got in there. It's funny. I got into the horses. I haven't rode a horse since I was 6. So that brought back some good memories. But just to see them riding out there free. And then you think about yourself, doing the same thing. So with that, it was lovely. So I want to really get into now. I was thinking about this. And I was like, it would be nice to discuss just some examples that you, as the panelists, know and could just relate to and think about, historically, where there's certain instances that the expression of freedom has led to significant social and changes within the world. And then learning from those experiences and then moving forward, Because we have the historical stuff that we learned from where it got us to this point where we're at now. Then moving forward, what are some things that you see that even with yourself you could be a part of? Because we can all be a part of change. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be in the political area sometime to do that. You could just be a change just doing what you do in your own lane. So I want each lady, each queen to express something, maybe historical that you see that helped get us to this point of freedom of expression in any kind of capacity that you see for freedom of expression. And then moving forward, what do you see that we can do or what you're doing right now to keep it going? So I'm going to start with Erica first, and we're going to bring her in here.
Hey, thank you for this question. This question is so powerful because there's so many things that have went on historically. Immediately, I think about two huge things, right? One was Roe versus Wade, and that just came back up recently, where a lot of people think that for that's more about abortion or not abortion. No, it's about the freedom of choice for a woman, and this is a very sensitive subject. I know because a lot of people don't they want to put their own agenda to it, but when you take away a woman's choice of what she does with her body, going back to what you and Coach Kim said, you are taking away my voice, you are taking away my rights as a woman. And women have fought so long to be where we are today, and in some areas we're still not free. So I feel like for me, my voice isn't loud enough in some of these areas, and it could be even louder, especially because I think sometimes it's the battle with faith, right? Because when you think about the abortion part of that, you think about life, but it's bigger than just life. It's bigger than just abortion. It's about choice, it's about voice, and it's about my rights. And so I feel like for myself personally, I need to stand tall. I need to use my voice. I need to use my platforms, and I need to undergird this of freedom of choice as a woman. Women have come so far to where in some decades and years back, we didn't even have the freedom to choose our own spouse. We were just an object, a bargaining tool, if you will. Go all the way back to the Bible days. We didn't get to choose. And so the fact that you're limiting our choice in some areas still is flat out aggravating. It's not what freedom is, and it's an area that's the first thing I need to stand up and speak louder on.
Mm, 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 mm. Wow, wow, wow. Yes, yes. I love bringing in, the historical, because like you said, we learn from that, how we got to this point, how it might be even today is being challenging. It's being challenged and what's going to happen in the future. And I love how you mentioned, Erica, about our platforms. Each and every one of us here has some type of either podcast or TV streaming show or what have you. And every time I think about, and I'm going to say it, I'm supposed to say it, sometimes I get a little bit upset when I see certain things going on in the world. And I'm like, what can I do? I want to do something. I want to do something. And in the back of my mind, like, Barbara, you can do something. You got your own show. Bring on panelists, just like how Tamara's doing here, and let's have those talks so people can hear the freedom of speech and hear what everybody's thinking about. So maybe we can have something in our mind and say maybe a change needs to happen, or maybe something's good happening. It don't have to always be bad. So thank you, Erica, for explaining that and understanding. Use your platform. Use your platform. So I'm going to go with Kimberly and get her take on this.
Erica, you speak to my heart. You just really do. And I love how you're using your voice to empower other women. Being a powerful woman myself, I think that it is an absolute responsibility that we have, and sometimes I think that we don't really understand the amount of power that we really have. Right? That's why I think gratitude is so important. But I want to piggyback on what you were talking about in regards to Roe versus Wade. This is, again, when you hear things more than once, it's a reason. We're strong women here. All of us are strong, and we're planting seeds for a reason. So as you listen, listen to the reason why we're planting the seeds and allow that to saturate in your mind, because you too are powerful. And what we learn is one body, many members. One body, many members. Why? Because we can't do it alone. We need to do it in community. So, talking about using our voice in regards to planting those seeds and into getting other women to realize how powerful they truly are, that the programming that was done to you or it poured into you when you were a younger person is not the truth of who you are. There's a reason for that. So, for me, as a powerful being, as a powerful woman, I like to use my voice to empower other women, other humans, right? Because our men need to be empowered as well. So, men, if you're listening, the more empowered you become, the more empowered you can empower other men and women as well. When we're talking about taking our rights away, as women, we have come a long way. But I want to bring this to everyone today. And that is that I feel at some point we may be spinning our wheels. And let me tell you why. I was at a community gathering where they were talking about mental health in our young ones. And a gentleman raised his hand. And he said, I hear you doing a lot of things, and I really appreciate you, panel. Really appreciate these good things you're doing. But I don't hear you listening. I don't hear you solving the root problem. I don't hear you saying that it's a family problem and not a child problem. It is a family problem. So just as we are talking about Roe versus Wade and women's rights to choose, expand beyond the thinking that you have in this current moment. Harness your power. Take that power. Become the person you were designed to be. And I am telling you, problems or situations like Roe versus Wade or mental health is no longer going to be a problem because you have done your inner work. And your inner work is what is going to help us solve those problems. Thank you, Barbara.
That was deep. I'm just sitting here right now. You're talking about listening. I hope everybody took the time and really listened to what Kimberly said. That was very, very powerful. Listening. Listening is the key. I always tell people with communication, everybody thinks talking is like 90% of it. But really, it's really the other way around. It really is the other way around, because if you're not listening to what the other person is saying, what they're trying to tell you, then you're missing out on the whole aspect of the communication of that person. And then you're missing on how we can help, how we do communicate, how we do have the freedom. You're missing on all that. You're not listening. Powerful, Kimberly. Woo. Okay, you know what? We don't have enough time for this. I was looking at the time. I was like, oh my God, these women are amazing. Okay, let's get to Mrs. Gunjani, lady. Here you go.
Thank you for this question. This is such a powerful question. And I really totally got full body chills as I heard Kimberly talk about this, because it is so important. As I was thinking about this question for me, growing up, like I was saying, in India in early parts of my life, and now living here for the past 20 years, and how history or where I am or the environment that I'm in has truly impacted who I am and how I show up in the world. And it's so important in terms of freedom. It's like, like I was mentioning earlier, where I change every 6 months. I have a goal for myself and the person I become and the life I design and the impact that I want to have. And I truly feel like literally, even in the past decade, with all this digital era and the phones and just how much impact and power we can have in the world by just showing up as us, and literally can impact so many people and pay it forward. So I truly, what Kimberly and Erica said resonates, that when we work on ourselves, when it's like, I'm not for everybody and not everybody is for me, but it's truly important that we recognize that we truly speak our beliefs, we speak what comes to us from within, and then pay it forward, because when we become the highest, most authentic version of ourselves, we inspire other women to do the same. I grew up in the culture where I was supposed to be married at 20 years old and didn't even get to pick my husband and that whole thing. And now, so much of my life, it's just I get to be who I am. My husband completely now supports me in everything I am. He's absolutely my best friend, and my family. We've come such a long ways, but we didn't talk about mental health. We didn't talk about emotional health. We didn't talk about money. We didn't talk about anything. And then that led to a lot of disconnection. And now, being in the mental health world myself, I truly feel that so much can change around us when we change our stories, when we change our perspective. We become the most non judgmental, compassionate version of ourselves and accept others for who they are and have these dialogues and communications in our community and with others. I think it plants small seeds and inspires people to do the same. And that's how we can make big changes, by truly being ourselves, chipping away at all the things that are not serving us, so that others get to do the same. Because I have been very powerfully influenced by so many awesome women in my life, and I never used to show up like this. But it's like, the 5 people that you surround yourself with, and then you impact the 5 people around you, and more, and just ripple effect of that. So thank you for this.
Oh my God, Gunjani, I'm so glad that you open up and being around so many people, because we would have been missing out on your light. We've been missing out on your gifts. And that's what I always say. That's why I love to be around these queens, because look at how much we'd be missing out on if we didn't have that freedom of speech, or freedom of having our own business, or freedom of just talking about mental health, like you said, or listening. I'd be missing out on all these people. I'd be missing out on Tamara having me on the show. I mean, think there's so much. And the healing that is coming from it all. The healing that's coming from it all. You never know who you're touching. Right now, as each and every panelist is talking about themselves, I'm glad they're being really real and getting deep into it, because there's so many people that need to hear that right now. And I always tell people, right now in this world, love is the answer. And we need to express that so much right now. It is so imperative that we show so much love right now. And freedom goes with that. It's a part of that. So thank you, each and every panelist, for showing up, showing your true self, showing your heart to others. And I want to put that out there before, we still have a little time, because I want to get some other takes on it. But I just want to just pause here, like Kimberly said, and listen to each and every one of you, and just let you know that we hear you, and we respect you, and we love you for that, because there's one person out there that's listening right now that's saying, I need to hear that. Or there's one person out there saying, I don't feel like I'm free right now. There's somebody that might be in depression mode right now and feel like they're bound. And by listening to each and every one of us, and even the comments here, all the lovely people in the comments, Helena and Tamara, sharing all this helps them become, and just a little, to say, let me open up that door so I can be free. So I can be free, and then they can be free in the world. So I just want to give some love. Oh, there's Miss Erika. Oh, she's on and she's giving comments. She's doing like, look at this.
There's some great conversations going on in the comment section.
I see that. I was like, you doing, I love it. Okay. Helene, our wonderful Helene, she's our senior ambassador here all the time. She's here every Sunday, always putting comments, always showing the love. I'm thankful I am me, and blessed I can be. Oh, that rhymes. I like that, Helena. Okay, I know she said something else that I wanted to put up there, that was really powerful. She was doing some party stuff. But she's always partying. Caroline said, listening is important, and it becomes easy to understand communication with others. So important with that. Yes. Yes, I love it. So what I want to do before we sign off, I want to come back to each panelist, and I want them to give something to the audience, anything that they think in their freedom of expression, whatever their expression for their freedom. And just say if you were talking to somebody right now, somebody that might be struggling, somebody that might be trying to think about, okay, something happened in history and now it seems like it's not going the way it should, or something that we need to do moving in the future, what kind of advice would you give that person? What kind of advice? Because it's about learning now, it's about educating each other, right? So I want each panelist to kind of do a little education for, give a teachable moment, and give the people out there what you think moving forward and what they can do. So I want to start with Coach.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd pick me because I didn't get a chance to give my take on the last question,
Okay,
but
yeah.
I was burning and itching because when Kimberly brought up the mental health piece, those were the two topics. Well, that was one of the two topics that I wanted to talk about. When you speak of the historical change in society and those things that we've seen that created or paved a way or made our way and our path even easier to stand on our platforms, I think about two individual things. I think about Tarana Burke and her leading the Me Too movement, even though through media we thought it was someone else who led it, but she was the leading force. But Tarana Burke having the courage, the boldness, the tenacity, the self-awareness to to step up, because often, as Erika has referenced, as most of us have referenced, women have been disempowered, right? So our voices have been muddled, and we've been in this position as a second class citizen. And then when you add race on top of that, if I'm a Black woman, that's a third class citizen, right? So, with that being the case, Tarana stepping forward, hashtag me too, I was already on the platform on social media sharing my story of sexual violence and abuse and incest, the familial, the family abuse that we're silenced about. When you don't have a voice, often you don't have it. And I'll reiterate what I said initially. Often you feel that you don't have it because of shame, because of something that happened that took your power away, took your voice away, and made you feel, even though you were victimized, as if you were the assailant, as if you were supposed to take the ownership. Me Too took all of that away. And so it created the platform that I was already speaking on. It made it easier for people to receive my story. Because as I shared being a victim of my father, biological father, sexually abusing me, raping me, people would cringe. They didn't want to have that conversation. But my freedom began on the inside of me first. I didn't need it on the outside. I didn't need permission for people to say, it's okay to talk about your trauma, because I spoke about my trauma, not just about me, but for all those little girls and boys who were victims inside their homes, for all those little girls and boys who felt helpless and silenced and alone, and as if nothing, people couldn't understand them or wouldn't receive them, and they had no value, as if they were invisible. I spoke up for that. So when Tarana Burke came forward, she gave me the license to speak louder and clearer, and she gave me the license for other people to receive my message, to receive the message of every victim in every home, to receive the message of every boy and every girl, to receive the message for the childhood sexual abuse. And although she spoke from the perspective of rape from, I guess, a different person, not inside the family but outside, it still allowed permission for people to hear and receive and remove the covers from that nasty secret in their home. And then part two, with Kimberly mentioning mental health. The movement of the 988. 988 is pivotal. It is the suicide and crisis lifeline. So if any of you out there are struggling, dealing with suicide ideation or thoughts of suicide, mental health issues, please reach out to 988. I was also speaking about mental health because I am a 4-time suicide survivor. On the 4th time, my 4th attempt, I physically flatlined, and they had to use the defibrillator on me and mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. So I spoke also about mental health, and people would turn away. However, 1 in 4 or 1 in 5, based on the statistics that you look at, 1 in 4 or 5 people suffer from a mental health issue every year. So as much as people cringe with thinking about it or hearing about it, depression and all these other disorders or illnesses, even though they were cringing, they were in need of help. So for me, freedom of expression means that you own your story and you show up. And freedom begins in you first. It won't always appear outside. There are people who are free on the outside. We have laws of freedom on the outside, but we walk around and we show up bound. We show up silenced. We show up carbon copies of other people. I want every person out there to know your voice is necessary. God created you and you are not missing anything. And He will use every single thing that you've gone through to create pathways and open doors for your life. He will use every single thing that you have thought that was some kind of order to stop your life. He will use everything to give you more life, give you abundant life. If you will show up in boldness, in light, in life, in salt, and use your freedom to express your story. You have no idea how your freedom of expressing your story can give someone else freedom. I'm sorry if I went over. That's it. That's all.
Oh my God. Can I do like a bow or something? How do you, because if I was, wow, 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 wow. First of all, never apologize. Never be apologetic for that. That was powerful. Somebody needed to hear that. And just because of time, we needed to, I mean, I got chills just, whew. I think we need to do another show just on that alone, mental health. I think I'm going to put that because mental health is real. Mental health is real, and people need to understand. People need freedom from that alone. What I want to do, because we only have a few minutes, if the other queens could just say just 30 seconds, just give any lasting thoughts, 30 seconds, and then we will make sure that we just round it up here. So I'm going to go to Erika first.
I'm just going to piggyback on Coach Michelle. I stand on one scripture and one scripture only, Matthew 5:16. Let your light so shine before men so they'll see your goodness and give glory to God. Use your voice, shine your light, show up in your authentic, true self. You are needed, you are necessary, and you matter.
Oh, oh, the ladies said it. The ladies said it. So I just want you to be here with me for a minute. You are beautiful. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. What we were programmed to believe are the reasons why we're here are not the true reasons. Every single drop of who you are is being used for a purpose. You are here for a reason. Harness your power. Take it in, breathe it in. And when you breathe out fire. Thank you.
That was so beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, ladies. It is such an honor to be here on this platform with you. And I just want to leave everybody with you belong, you matter, you are loved, and you are supported beyond beliefs. The more we connect ourselves to our highest power, our source, God, universe, whatever your word is, the more we see the light within us, the more we spread the light, the more we spread the love, the more we show up as us, the more we are free to be who we are. Victim consciousness is not our story. Power and love and enlightenment is. So I truly am so honored to be here. You deserve this life fully. And what Coach Michelle said, sometimes we need help, sometimes we need support, sometimes we don't think we are worthy of it, but you are worthy just the way you are. And nothing outside of you takes that worthy away. You were born, you are here to anything that you might be going through right now or have gone through. Make that your story, make that your power, make that your purpose, make that way, heal that, love that, be compassionate for that, and show up for yourself first, and then you make a difference in the world. Thank you.
Woo! Thank you, ladies. Powerful. I'm not saying nothing else except thank you, thank you, thank you. So grateful for you. So grateful for the audience out there. So grateful for Tamara L. Hunter. So thankful for this platform, and just thankful of just like somebody just said, breathe fire, breathe fire. I love it to the world, and make sure that you show up as yourself. Love on you, and we will see you next Sunday on Let's Talk Fabulous. Thank you, everybody, and happy 4th of July.